Hello and welcome back. This is Visitors, and I'm continuing playing Darkness Within 2, the Dark Lineage. Last time we found our dear old Papa, who apparently were killed or overdosed with sleeping pills. Here's our grandfather, who apparently made some kind of deal. Well, not total deal, but for our lineage, apparently my body is about to be possessed and I lose all my senses, and that should be a great thing. I disagree. Hopefully we can do something about it. To be honest, if this is a Lovecraftian, it might not be that great idea anyways. Because I think it might be a lose-lose situation anyways. And also I think storm is coming or started, so if I remember correctly, we've done everything here. And I'm not gonna stress about the kitchen door. It's there. If I find the key, I'll find it. If I don't, I don't. So yes, let's leave. Well, definitely looks like a little storm. Can I leave the premises? No idea if this might be our last episode. Maybe, maybe not. I have no idea how far I am in the game. Honestly, it feels like I might be at the end. I can't leave here on foot. It's a long way to walk, and especially dangerous in this kind of weather. I need a vehicle. Well, you are correct that it's not a great weather to just walk away. But while you said you need a vehicle, let's test that theory then. Oh, what do I have? I have the Black Mirror envelope, and we have already papers for it, and anything else. Not even a key, only a lever and a screwdriver. I'm trying to think. Was there something else? I'm guessing we can't open the lid on the well. The cover of the well is locked, and there is a strange mechanism here. So yeah, I'm guessing we can't do anything. Let's try. No. This won't work. How about lever? I need to try something else. That lever is interesting. We have had it for a quite while, almost from the start of the game. Not totally start from the game, but almost. That is quite interesting. Anyways. Oh, right, it's only... yeah, goes around. I've been thinking for a... I'm sorry, I was checking I was recording, and I was checking that everything is okay. Yeah, what was I was going to say? Let me check. For a change, yeah, I've been recording earlier than normally. So, depending... Bloody hell. Strange. It's working. Right. Yeah, if this doesn't take too long to end, I might start trying to see if I can record Gabriel Night. But that depends how long this will take and whatever, but we will see. What is that? That is one bright lantern. Truly bright lantern. Where's the incense? So could I use the car to leave? I do have gasoline. I can't set out with the storm raging outside. I'd better wait until tomorrow. Tomorrow never comes. Most likely. Can I take the rope? You really think it's a good idea to sleep in here while your body's about to be taken by our outer world god as a vessel? Whatever. So I guess there's nothing left than go to upstairs. I'm gonna take a little look-see around here if we can see anything. I'm almost certain that we have to go to bed. And most likely I forgot the mannequins. Yeah. Thanks for that. Yeah, I don't... Some bright light. This is back. I already turned you over. Maybe I can hide in here. Okay. And I'm guessing there's nothing in the library, but let's check anyway. Anyways. There was somebody sitting there. Whoa. Have to say, I did that. Suddenly I didn't notice it when I entered here. But only just saw it on the corner of the eye. I was too fixated on the corner, I don't know why. Can we get it? Oh, I can't. I hear sounds coming from within the walls. It's like there are rats in there. Oh, rats in the walls. They seem to be moving somewhere below. I should try to follow them. Really? Yeah, one of the short stories are rats in the walls. Or wall. I can't remember which. If I remember correctly, either can I sleep? I don't feel sleepy right now. The person or persons both or inherited a house where they moved in and fixed things, and then there's start to be quite a lot of rats in there, and I think there was a well and underground caverns also. I should have that actually. So I can hear the sounds. Okay, it's getting louder. Strange. I don't remember this door being stuck. That is strange. It's hard to say where the sounds are coming from. This is locked. What? Right. I guess we're going downstairs then. It took the control away from me for a while and just threw me there. Down we go. I might make a save here. Interesting. What are we? Yes, yes, welcome home, Howard. Where are you, you bastard? This really doesn't work. Neither does this, but maybe a little bit better. I'm gonna go check this area first. Apparently I don't. Strange. I don't remember this door being stuck. Well, it wasn't stuck because we came from there, so not much where we can go then. There's a hole on the floor. I don't remember there was that there were any holes earlier, but I guess we're going down then. Yeah, most saving just worried about the bugs, not death or something like that. Oh, weren't the wood panels here before? Yes, I'm sure the rats descended these staircases. I can still hear them squeaking faintly. Well, of course we then follow them. Right. How's my lantern? Oh, that's the wrong button. This should give me the lantern. It's much better. Yes.
Welcome, Howard.
Was this a nightmare? I really heard those creatures. They were racing through the walls to the lower parts of the house. I'm sure they were calling me down there to show me something, showing me the way to some other dark secret of this place. Anyway, I think I heard a sound coming from the house. I'd better go and investigate. Yes, rats are helpful like that, you know. Yes, alright. I always go check noise. I hate when the flashlight does that. Nothing changed at the moment. Can we see a ghostly apparition? No. No, we cannot. Well, at least this is where it's supposed to be. I don't see it. Or, well, maybe I could go through this door also. Just to be sure that I have not missed anything. Okay. So I'm guessing we have to go to the basement again. Strange. It's working. Yes, very strange. Oh, but the incenses are gone. So this door was stuck last time. Now it's not. Is that a knocking? Rapping on the floor or something like that. What is that? Interesting. Something is floating there. Graphical bug. Well, I'm running out of rooms, so down we go then. Again. Yes. Welcome, Howard. First this side of the place. So is this working? Well, apparently I can't interact with it, but almost got stuck with it. Yeah, stay open, please. Can I open it? No. So the only thing to do now is go to the wine cellar. Or, well, actually it's not a wine cellar, but whatever it is. So I remember there was no wooden floor paneling here before. It was just bare, wet and mossy with ancient stone steps leading down into the depths that have lain secretly under this house for who knows how many years. Oh, now we probably can use the sledgehammer. I can try to break the floor with the hammer. Right. So I'm not certain. Do the gate. Object gone. Well, I guess we go down then. Here we are again. Now we can open this gate. What about... No, I can't open it. It's stuck. Okay. What? This part has collapsed. Who'd have guessed? It really is collapsed. Okay. Enough of that. Wait a minute. Okay. I had to clear my throat. And there's an eye symbol. And there's an eye symbol. I'll go here first. I could put my clothes on. Where's my fancy new clothes? I want to be a Darth Vader. I remember now. They were making rituals using this. They were making, probably. Unless I remember now. They were making rituals using these. Okay. This looks like a bowl with in which the ceremonial fire was built. I have no idea what happened there. Let's check the floor. It's not the first time I missed something from the floor. Is that what it's... Key I found in the place under the cellar. Well, this might be one of those things I could use for the... This engraving, it has the emblem of my family on it. Also, there is a part of the bottom that looks like fire. Why do I think I need to get rid of these flies? Because I'm thinking we might need to use this for something, ritual or something like that. I'm not certain. These bottles are filled with some kind of special liquid which I can't identify exactly. I'm feeling that we might be doing some kind of ritual. Would make sense, I guess. If I do have the poison still, I might try to use it. Never hurts. Let's see, do I have it? Oh yes. I don't understand. It looks like these insects are immune to the mixture. Really? Can I... Okay, maybe it was a good thing that I used my protective gear then. Well, let's take this off then. Honestly, I'm tempted to go back and see if the key would open the door now before we talk to him, because I don't want to miss anything. I could make a save here. So he will stay there. Those will stay there. There we go a little bit later. But now we go back to the kitchen because I definitely want to see if I can go back. Yes, I can. I want to test the key right away. Maybe it was this key they meant because I remember it was a vague guide made so that you won't spoil yourself a lot. It was made that, yeah, broke the cellar floor, get the key, and you can open it. Open this door. Nothing else. So I have no idea what even is inside in here, and even if it's important or not. Okay. Well, let's just say it. This is a little strange room. Oh, I remember seeing this one. The ritual mask my grandfather brought back from some eastern islands that even grandmother Ingrid didn't know about. When I asked, he said it depicts a god named Great Cthulhu, who lies sleeping in the ancient city of Loreid. This mask is secret and used only by native priests in their unspeakable rituals. Okay, let's try that again, because again I got something stuck in the throat. Yes, Great Cthulhu, who lies sleeping in the ancient city of Relay. Yeah, okay, I didn't miss anything. So yeah, yes, Cthulhu. Ja, Cthulhu Fatagan. These statues, who could they represent? One is normal, but the other seems badly deformed. Yeah, the eyeball is leaking out, the flesh is scarred, even mutilation, so you can see the teeth. Probably burning or bite marks. Lovely. And there's something behind them. Actually, those could be pictures from the Voynich manuscript, which was mentioned in the first game. Because it's filled with some of those botanical drawings, which really are odd if you look them up. Those might be from the Voynich's manuscript. You can, if I remember, you definitely can find it online because, of course, it's a very, very old book. So you can see at least pictures of it. A bust of an old man with great beard. It seems so familiar to me. I think I've seen hand-drawn pictures very similar to this bust in an old book. Could you enlighten me? In what book? I can't put anything. What is this? A deformed human figure reminds me of a mummy. Okay. A crocodile. I'm not an expert, but this model looks like a real one. Okay. Model that looks like a real one. Well, it could be a real one. And the user, a statue of strange creature. Well, it is strange. I know this statue. I've seen it so many times among grandfather's sketches. It is Hecate, the Greek goddess of magic, witches, and ghosts. He seemed obsessed with Hecate. I remember he once told me that he dreamed about her often and every time he woke up in fear. Also, there is something carved in the bottom of the statue that reads, "A spirit passed before me. I beheld the face of immortality unveiled." Okay, some green goo or paint all over the floor. More drawings. Does this depict a gnome or tectonic creature who lived in the where? Underground. Yeah, I thought it said that, but I want to be absolutely certain. There are many papers scattered around the room with writings and drawings I don't understand on them. Okay, yes, there are. What am I missing? There has to be something here because we managed to get in here. I'm definitely missing something. Whoa. What is this? This looks really strange. I don't even know how to describe it. A horned creature of some kind. Okay, there has to be something here. What am I missing? Can I use the flashlight? Would it lighten light a little bit better? I have to be extra careful because honestly, there must be something more here. What is the meaning with these statues? Oh, is that something on? Oh, oh, oh! It's a ring. It's the ring. Okay, so I have my family ring. So this is the ring which was originally in the upstairs, where there are the two beds, and the drawer. It's originally there because when I was looking the help for this door, I stumbled an old game walkthrough, which probably is for, and not even probably, which is not for the director's cut, which actually changed the stuff around. So that ring was originally in the upstairs room, where you just go and open the drawer and get it from there. But in director's cut, it's here. So it was this ring. I still don't know what I'm going to do with it, but anyways, I'm almost certain it's important, but anyways. So, back to the cellar. I think we have done... Well, there is the one door still. But for now, we have done everything we can. So... let's make a save. I'm thinking, should I first go a little bit here and see if I can see anything interesting? Well, there's a door. Can I open it? Yes, I can. Should I go in? Well, this is looking rather interesting. I'm just checking. Well, you are. So, I think this statue depicts of one of the members of this so-called pre-human race. Are you certain about that? But that dagger caught my eye. This dagger seems stuck. I can't take it from the statue's hand. But why? So, okay. Do I use something on it? Let... No, it's stuck. Nothing. And how about we have a screwdriver, or maybe Ankh. Wait a minute. This ring is stuck. I can't take it from the statue's hand. So, anything... Oh, it's just saying the same things again. So, well, first we go talk to the weird person. It might be we can't take those yet. It's quite ominous looking, if I may say so. Oh, I can run. Forgot that little detail. What? What happened? It literally stopped me and didn't let me to move. Right. I can take the ring. Is it me or this statue really moved just now? He is offering me the ring now. Well, we have the ring. I can't take the dagger. Do I? No. Well, thanks for the ring, I guess. That was weird. Okay, let's go and talk to this person here. Are you Luath Nolder, perchance?
It seems you remember this place.
Okay, a little bloodshot eyes, but what is this place? The city you mentioned earlier, is it the one the archaeologist found recently? Pre-him race, you said somebody would take my body. Tell me more about this. There are others like me. Let's start with that. There are others like me.
There are others like me.
Yes, there are others like you. But unlike you, they have all been conquered already. So we can't depend on any of them.
Somebody would take my body.
You said somebody would take my body. Tell me more about this.
Someone from your own bloodline. To finish what they started years ago. Your ancestor and others will come back, since they need bodies from their own descendants. With an ancient practice known as metamorphosis of the soul, the will of your ancestor is going to take over your body. I don't know exactly what happens during this process, but the person you are now will be gone. You are nothing but a container for them. Your body will be their tool, and you'll be gone forever.
Oh, this sounds familiar. There's definitely a story about a novel from Lovecraft, or short story, I can't remember, about older relative taking over the younger one's body. Pre-human race.
Pre-human race?
Yes, a pre-human reptilian race. They built great cities and reigned before the first man existed. But then, their splendid cities mysteriously disappeared from the face of the earth, one by one. No documentation offers any insight about what might have happened to them. However, one of their cities is right below this place. The house that belongs to your family is also built over a connection to the city. There is an ancient cult of people named Children of Dis who aim to revive the reptilian race and their god. During medieval times, and even before, there were attempts to eliminate them several times, but every time they managed to survive. Some of your ancestors were with them.
Okay. The city you mentioned earlier is... Well, he's got...
The city you mentioned earlier, is it the one the archaeologist found recently?
Yes. I checked the dig site, but no one was there. Their camp is still there, but the archaeologist has disappeared into thin air. And the entrance is blocked by huge rocks. They obviously don't want anyone to interfere.
Obviously. What is this place?
What is this place?
This is a connection to the necropolis city. It was built by men, and your house was built over the city as well. But this link is too old. Most of its parts have collapsed, so we can't reach the city from here. There must be another way.
Okay. What is Nyarlathotep? I read in my grandfather's notes that you were in this house back then. Is this true? Do you hear the sounds coming from within the walls? What can we do to stop them? I'm gonna leave that for the last. Let's start with the sound from the walls.
Do you hear the sounds coming from within the walls?
No, I don't.
I see. So this damned house tries to speak to me alone.
Okay, I'll read.
I've read in my grandfather's notes that you were in this house back then. Is this true?
Yes. The memories of that time came back to me faintly a few years ago. Before my long journey, I dreamt about this house and your grandfather. But I couldn't understand the meaning of those dreams. I didn't remember anything about them. Yet I dreamt almost every night. But more became clear when I was staying with the natives. There was some kind of incense they often used at night. It sweeps out the confusion and haze and makes your mind sharper. When you inhale it, you feel strange and remember a lot of long-forgotten things, like the Pandora's box of your mind suddenly opening. That's when I remembered the times I stayed here, recalled why they locked me in this room, and what they gave me to make me calm. Those are memories I don't want to remember. And I'm glad I'll soon forget everything I went through. At least, I believe such a mercy exists in this universe.
Okay, good for you. And what is Nyarlathotep?
What is Nyarlathotep?
The crawling chaos. Messenger of the gods. We definitely mustn't let them evoke him.
Okay, let's not invoke him. What can we do to stop?
What can we do to stop them?
Unfortunately, I am not completely sure. All sources on this subject are extremely secretive. All I know is that Nyarlathotep must be evoked before the rite. And there is an antique crystal stone used for this purpose. This was done in the same fashion centuries earlier. In any case, we must reach the buried city below us. There should be an entrance from this house. You must find it. Here, take this.
The metallic object Lothnolder gave me, this is supposed to be one part of an object.
This is part of an object that acts as a key. We need to complete it to reach the city. The other side should be around here, since it descended through your family. I have to go now. I still have some things to do. We'll meet in the city. You absolutely must find the entrance and the other parts of the key.
I'll be on my way as well.
Interesting to see if we can trust him or not. Oh, by the way, I was also checking one thing. Yes, obviously Lovecraft has at least 2, maybe 3 or 4 stories. 2, definitely 3, most likely stories about inhabiting others' bodies. Well, of course, that's usual. Well, not usual, but no understandable trope on the horror schemes. Yeah, the one thing I realized, yeah, there's a Pigman's model, which I think I said in the Darkness Within 1, where there's a Pigman painter, and that the Pigman's name is a throwback to him, which might be true, but also there is another Pigman, which is definitely a throwback in these games. Edward Pigman. Actually, Edward Pigman Derby, and he's actually a poet. And he's one of the protagonists in one of these changing, invading bodies stories. So, yeah, I was correct and not correct. So if you're raging, well, no idea. Basically, yeah, there are 2 Pigmans in Lovecraft stories. Might be more. I have read both of the stories, and I can't remember why I didn't put 2 and 2 to get together. Well, maybe because the Edward Pigman in the other story is actually Edward Pigman Derby, and the Pigman is the second name, while the... Can I take the knife? While the Pigman's model, it's named as a Pigman's model, and the last name is Pigman. Anyways, that was something I want to tell. Can I get your stabby stab? Okay, he's offering to ring now. Maybe it's something on the... Because what's in the room next to the Lothnolder's room? There has to be something there. What? Can I see anything from this? Oh. This This dust has very exotic odor. It smells like an incense. So, do I use it on something? Why didn't I check the ring first? Anyways, so let's go in the left side room and see if we can do something there. There has to be, because, well, yes, there was the key, but I'm almost certain there has to be something else. Do I need to put my... Yeah, I think I have to. Let's see if I can do something here. I'm going again through this area and see if I missed something. I remember now. Rituals. Rituals. Oh, there's the symbol again. It's going over this whole area. So these look empty. So these. And I can't see anything there. There's a bottle, but I can't interact with it. What? This is a special kind of liquid. Okay. What do I do with it? So we have a special kind of liquid. This looks like a bowl on which ceremonial fire is built. Do I need to build a ceremonial fire? So maybe use liquid. I put some liquid in the bowl. Do I need a ring? Because why would we have it if we are not using it? Let's try. Let's see if this incense dust is flammable. Okay. A blue flame. Some says blue flame indicates enlightenment and inner flame. Or it's a burning pure. Well, to be yes. Engraving my family emblem on it. And there's also a part bottom that looks like fire. Oh, fire, yes. Hey, you should be gone now, but what do I do now? So he gave me the ring, that I make the ceremonial fire. Does that mean that now I'm free to take the... Yeah, I guess that answered the question because we heard the rumbling of a stone. So I'm guessing we can finally take the dagger. Thank you kindly. This is probably the dagger mentioned in my grandfather's notes. All hail, crocodile god. And thanks for the dagger. But what now? I have dagger. I have met Luthnolder. Oh, I need to find the rest of the pieces, of course. Okay. Well, I'm guessing we're almost done. I can't open it, it's stuck. Done here for the moment, so we might as well go upstairs. And I don't think there's anything for... Can we actually leave now? Let's go up. It seems like there's still storm. Excuse me. Ah. Can I use the car? I can't. I'd better wait until... Do I go back to sleep? Do I need to check this? Yes, it's an eye symbol. We're missing a few parts.
Hi, Howard. I know this is shocking, but I am Loth Nolder. It seems impossible to believe, but it's the truth. As you can see, my new body is not in good shape. I'm taking something to slow its deterioration, but the worms will have me soon. So listen carefully. Time is very short. We must stop them.
Stop whom?
Don't you remember? I think the drug I gave you was a bit much.
What drug? What are you talking about?
The drug I gave you when I took you out of the asylum. If I hadn't given it to you, you would have been gone for good by now. It was prepared by a very powerful shaman, but I think it prevents you from remembering what happened and who you really are.
This is all nonsense. I don't understand what you're talking about. You told me to come here, and I am here, in the very house of my ancestors. What is the meaning of this? Do you know that my father is lying in that tomb? Can you tell me why he killed himself in there? Why my mother never told me anything about my father? Why I remember things I've never known before? What is happening to me?
You must be calm. I am in a worse condition. I know this seems like nonsense, but it is happening. This world hides secrets that people must never learn. And we are a part of those secrets. Please, calm down and try to understand what I'm about to say to you. I've given you a special drug. You haven't lost your control, have you? So don't be afraid. The drug won't let him possess you too soon, but it won't last long. We must be quick to find the entrance to the sunken city. It is right under this town and its outlying areas.
Wait a minute. Who was the guy downstairs then? Why did I think it was Lord Noller? Am I going crazy? Or is my brain addled? Anyways, why did you take me out of the asylum? But he's I'm.
Why did you take me out of the asylum?
I had to. As I said before, if I didn't, you would have been totally overcome by now. They were planning to eliminate you and take your body for good. But fortunately, I came just at the right time. We now have a chance. I can't make it by myself. They defeated everyone else except you.
Hey, what has happened to your body?
What has happened to your body?
It is a long and bizarre story. My body was stolen from me. After I'd stayed at that disgusting village for a while, the elders sent me with a native guide to a nameless ruin in the middle of a jungle so dense it seemed like no human soul had ever set foot in it before us. When we arrived, that traitorous guide pushed me into a deep chamber. They planned this all along. He was not with me, only to guide me there. When I opened my eyes, I was in an enclosure with lavishly carved stone walls. I was tied tight and saw some masked figures sitting around me chanting something. They were not human. Try to imagine this. I was alone with things that were not human. Their constant hissings still reverberate in my ears. They gave me something that made my mind go cloudy. Then, I believe I fainted. I don't know how much time passed, but when I regained consciousness, I was in total darkness. With the smell of damp earth filling my nose, I thought they had buried me alive. But soon, I understood how stupid it was to expect this kind of mercy from them. I managed to get above ground with my bare hands and tried to flee that damned jungle at once. But when I slipped and fell into a small puddle of muddy water, for a moment I plunged into the scorching pit of madness. The reflection in the water showed that I now inhabited the body that once belonged to my guide.
Okay, what is your connection to the... Yeah, he's gonna say it.
What is your connection to this situation?
As you know, I went on a long journey 5 years ago. During my travels, I sought clues that would give me some insight into my own family history. I visited a lot of places, but I finally found my answers in a primitive forest village. Strangely, the village elders seemed to know me and told me some unbelievable things about my identity. They said I was born in that very village, the son of a European father and a mother they never revealed. Nobody spoke about her, though I persistently asked them. All I learned is that she disappeared from the village after giving birth to me, and it seemed from their tone that they were grateful when she left. I could learn nothing else about my father either, except that he was a civilized man. Apparently, I spent some of my childhood there, under the veil of strange practices and inhuman traditions. I faintly remember them showing and teaching me some horrifying things that fortunately I can't quite remember anymore. But one thing's still clear in my mind. They were constantly telling me that my body was just a vessel, and that someday I would return to them and be filled with true essence. And through my body, a god worshipped by the natives will be summoned. So, in a sense, I am just like you. Something that should not be.
And the sunken city.
Sunken city?
The necropolis city of a pre-human reptilian race. Look, I am tired and have to get my drug. Let's continue this conversation tomorrow.
I didn't sleep last night. I kept thinking about things Lord Nolder told me. But no matter how much I think, all these things I've seen and heard make no sense. It's crazy. No one could believe all this. Maybe I really am a madman, wandering around aimlessly and living in this own world of delusions. Maybe all this is nothing more than a dream within a dream. Yeah, no. I don't know. The guy in the dungeon apparently wasn't a Loth Nolder. I don't know. Where did I thought about it? I'm sorry because I was a little phasing out because yeah, I was just checking the few sword stories while listening on the second ear with my second ear while listening the story, and I might have somehow thought about that it was Loth Nolder. I have no idea. Anyways, I think I have no idea how much I have left, but I think there is some things to do still. So I have had a few longer episodes, so I will maybe take this a little slower, and yeah, I think this is a good part to end this episode, and maybe get the story done on the next episode. We will have to see. But yeah, anyways, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I will see you next time. Until then, bye.